Hello students, I welcome you back to the biology class. We were discussing our chapter Molecular Basis of Inheritance, and this is the part 8 of this particular chapter. Today we will discuss the topic transcription. If you remember, we have seen replication. So what was replication? Replication was the process of formation of a new DNA from the existing DNA. And transcription is the process of formation of RNA. It is the process of formation of RNA over a DNA template. So, in transcription, a single-stranded RNA is created which has the code which is exactly similar to the coding strand of the DNA. The coding strand of the DNA is actually the 5'3' strand of the DNA. So 5'3' strand of the DNA is the coding strand, and this RNA which is formed has the basis or the sequence of nucleotides, same as that of the coding strand. Except the fact that the thymine of the DNA is replaced by uracil in RNA. So, the DNA strand which functions as a template for the synthesis of the RNA is the template or antisense strand. And the strand which acts as the coding strand is actually the sense strand. So, here only one of the strand takes part in the process of transcription. Both the strands of DNA do not take part in the transcription, since it would produce number 1, complementary RNA with a tendency to form the double-stranded structure, which would not be functional. And even if both the RNA strands are functional, they would produce two kinds of protein for each of the RNA produced with opposite sequence of amino acid. Only one of the protein will be functional. So, the other protein with the opposite arrangement of amino acid would cause its dysfunctioning, agglutination and other defects. So, it is only one of the two strands that is transcribed. Now, transcription always takes place in a transcription unit. So, this is the segment of the template strand which takes part in the process of transcription. It has a promoter region, the structural genes and the terminator region. The promoter region is present upstream and the terminator region is present downstream. the main enzyme which is required for the process of transcription is RNA polymerase. Like we have seen the DNA polymerase, this is RNA polymerase. Again, this is DNA dependent RNA polymerase because it also requires a template of DNA for the formation of RNA. Now, this RNA polymerase in prokaryotes is of a single type. But in eukaryotes, three types of RNA polymerase is present, namely RNA polymerase 1, RNA polymerase 2 and RNA polymerase 3. In eukaryotes, RNA polymerase 1 synthesizes the ribosomal RNA. RNA polymerase 2 synthesizes the messenger RNA. And RNA polymerase 3 synthesizes the transfer RNA. So we have three different kinds of RNA polymerases in the eukaryotes. Now, the process of transcription actually consists of three stages. Number 1, initiation. Number 2, elongation. And number 3, termination. So what happens in initiation? The polymerase enzyme, the RNA polymerase enzyme, reaches the promoter site upstream the DNA template. The sigma factor of the prokaryotes, this sigma factor here it is shown, the sigma factor of the prokaryotes, it recognizes the promoter region. In eukaryotes, there are separate transcription factors for the mechanism of recognition of promoter. The factors also helps in binding the RNA polymerase over the DNA template of the transcription unit. The DNA unwinds and exposes the template strand. The binary complex produces a transcription eye or a bubble. So, the DNA separates out and it forms a transcription bubble. So, in this region, the polymerase enzyme adds the complementary nucleotide to start the initiation point. The two strands of DNA separate further with enlargement of the transcription bubble. More nucleotides get base paired with adenosine forming pair with uracil instead of thymine. Now, they also get linked by phosphodiester bond as we have seen in the case of DNA to form a small RNA chain. The sigma factor then separates in the prokaryotes and the core enzymes moves over the DNA template to form the transcription downstream. Now the second step is elongation. The transcription proceeds in the direction of 5' to 3'. It proceeds in the direction of 5' to 3'. Only a few nucleotides are added at one time to RNA chain due to the small size of the transcription bubble where RNA polymerase is present. After the completion of limited transcription, the polymerase moves away, rewinding the DNA that was open behind the RNA polymerase. Only a small part of RNA remains attached to the polymerase. In this way, transcription continues till the whole unit has been scanned by the polymerase and an RNA is built up. So when an RNA is built up, the RNA polymerase reaches the other end. The last step is termination. So what is termination? It is the stopping of the process of transcription. So there's a lot of variation in the termination process. Sometimes in prokaryotes we have seen a factor known as the Rho factor acts as the termination factor, and it helps in dissociating the RNA from the polymerase. Now, in prokaryotes, once the transcript is formed, it is functional. And this is known as the primary transcript. It is known as the primary transcript. And normally this primary transcript is bigger than the functional RNA. Now, in prokaryotes, as I was saying, the transcript that is produced is functional directly from the time it is being transcribed. But in case of eukaryote, it needs post-transcriptional modification. So the first post-transcriptional modification that occurs is cleavage. As I was saying, a bigger primary transcript is often cleaved to form the RNA of desired length. The second post-transcriptional modification is called splicing. So what is splicing? Most of the eukaryotic mRNA contain non-coding sequences called the introns. So introns, they are the non-coding sequences along with the exons, which are actually the coding sequences. So the coding sequences are exons. They are the coding one. So the non-coding regions, they remain flexed in between the coding exon region. So an exon-intron junction usually carries an AG or GU at the 5' boundary and AG or G at the 3' boundary. So, before mRNA becomes functional, introns are needed to be removed from here. And the process of removal of introns through cutting and joining the essential sequences or the exons is called splicing. So this process forms a specialized structure which is called the spliceosome of the intron region, and then the intron regions get separated. The third post-transcriptional modification is your capping and tailing. So these are called the terminal additions. The newly processed RNA receives additions at one or both ends to develop the functional RNA. Like here, the capping actually occurs with a methylated guanosine triphosphate. So, 7-methyl-guanosine, which is formed from guanosine triphosphate, gets attached at the former end of the heterogeneous RNA. So, heterogeneous RNA is actually the primary transcript which is formed in case of eukaryotic RNA. So, the capping occurs with 7-methyl-guanosine. And the tailing is usually a poly A nucleotide added at the end of the RNA. So, there are multiple A unit added to the end of the RNA strand. So, after capping and tailing, the functional mRNA is produced. So, this was the process of transcription.